Welcome back to Suns Valley after a much needed win from the Phoenix Suns over the Dallas Mavericks in game one. There was honestly no reason to think that we were going to come back and win that game. So if you did, shout out to you. You're a special breed. Not only was it an incredible game to watch, it was really fun. And there were so many storylines that we could talk about. Before I get into the storyline that I want to, hit the like button for me. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. So like I said, tons of storylines. We could talk about DA's early foul trouble. The man missed the entire first half, it felt like. He came back in the second and was crazy efficient, as usual. But unlike in the playoffs last season, where he shied away and didn't dominate against Kleba or any of the other Dallas bigs, who he should have dominated against, let's be honest. Second half, he gets back in the game, and he did exactly what we needed him to do. He was a steady source of points to help us right the ship while we got things figured out on defense. And we did. We could talk about CP3 not playing in the fourth quarter. The Suns were down at one point by 22 points, and they felt the best chance of winning came from having Cam Payne and D. Lee in the game, not Chris Paul in crunch time. And it worked. I mean, speaking of D. Lee, he just keeps surprising us. We could talk about his ridiculous fourth quarter heroics. It wasn't just the fading midi at the end of the game that won it. And it wasn't the three laser three-pointers that he slapped for us. But it was the rebounding and the offensive fouls that he drew that really changed the tone of the second half. And I need to make note of Booker's great performance. This really felt like the first hot performance from him since the early Dallas series. And remember, he was red hot against the Pelicans before going down with that hammy injury. He looked brilliant last night. After stepping on someone's foot and turning his ankle a little bit, he tightened up that shoe real tight and played some of the best basketball I've seen him play in a while. I just hope and pray he's not injured too much that he can't keep going early here in the season, because we need to get off to a good start. But no, the storyline I want to talk about that I think is the most important is the fact that Luka has been an unstoppable force against the Phoenix Suns, a torturer of the Phoenix Suns' souls. And last night in the first quarter, it all was starting the exact same. He's hitting everything. Step backs. I mean, he brought a tear to my eye with some of the beautiful shots that he was making. Like this one, this spinning fadeaway on the inside shoulder. Absolutely ridiculous. He makes it look easy, but folks, that shot is not easy. And everything was going like this for Luka. Cam Johnson had a really nice game, but when he was guarding Luka, it was exactly like game 7, game 6, game 5, just being outclassed by Luka. And once again, it began to feel hopeless. I mean, he's spinning, he's pirouetting. Anything he wanted to do was working, and it didn't matter what defender we had on him. Sound familiar? Luka even got the best of our beautiful Jock Landale a couple of times. This time here with a beautiful step back, nothing you can do about it, and he also hits him with a layup later. Here's the layup as he drives, hangs, and hits. Leaning back, nothing you can do. But I will say, even before half, the Suns started changing the way they guarded him, and they started staying down instead of jumping and biting on all of his pump fakes. You can see here Mikal wants to jump, doesn't, keeps that hand in the face and makes it a more difficult shot. Second half comes around and it's looking like it's going to be the exact same. A gorgeous step back. We've seen it before. And then Booker here does everything right. Plays tight defense, stays on him, doesn't jump, and Luka just wills the ball in. But please take a look at how closely Devin Booker is guarding Luka. This is when things start to change. We start getting more aggressive, more handsy, not jumping. That's the best, most important thing. Not falling for his plethora and his barrage of pump fakes. As you can see, Cam Johnson gets the memo, stays tight, does not jump, hand in the face. You live with it if he hits. And now DeAndre Ayton, who I argue is a good defender against Luka, jumps out at him and stops the three. Unfortunately, they get a tip back and a second chance shot. So here you can see Bridges goes over the screen. They switch. Ayton stays on him, hand in the face. Another miss. Like I said, you live with the makes when he makes that. I honestly feel like Luka started getting tired at some point because they were not subbing him out. He spin moves and knocks Payne down but can't finish the three. A less fatigued Luka makes that shot. Now this time we throw Craig at him. And Craig just does the best that he can, slides his feet, stays, hand in the face, and gets lucky he misses. Now the Suns also were doubling Luka and just staying with him and saying, hey, look, if you let these other guys hit, that's fine. If you help them, if you want to have assists all night, go for it. Luka gets a handoff from Wood here. Both Booker and Ayton pretty much stay with him, and he tries to get a foul call. He misses and Wood puts it back, but still, we'll take that. Stopping Luka anytime you can. Now, this is just a good example of how difficult it is to guard Luka. He absolutely gets Bridges with the move here. I think he's a little tired, leaves it short. But D. Lee, this is what I'm talking about. This is what saved the game for the Suns. Watch D. Lee fighting, hustling for this box out, draws that foul and really helps save the game. Now watch top right of the screen. Mikhail is going to slide past Christian Wood. He is desperate to stay on top of this screen. In fact, he slides back in front of it again and is able to keep his hand in front of his eyes while he shoots. Miss. God bless D. Lee and everything he did for us, but this was an example of how you don't guard Luka. Let him go right and just use his body to seal you. Now, by now, you've seen the unbelievable mid-range leaning shot from D. Lee that won the game. But they did get another chance. Luka brings the ball past half court here, and I truly think he could have gotten to the rim if he wanted to, but we had him tired out. He settles for a three. We get a hand in the face, the best you can ask for, and I really thought that was going in. Thank God it didn't, and thank you, D. Lee. I think Monty really deserves some praise here. He made halftime adjustments that clearly were listened to and executed. And shout out to all the guys that were guarding Luka, being more physical, fighting over the top of screens, hand checking him a little bit, and risking getting fouls called against them because of their physical style of defensive play. It made a world of difference. Tell me in the comments below how you feel about the Suns' win over the Mavs and what you think the biggest reason why they were able to come back down 22. See y'all on the next stream versus the Blazers Friday. We're going to have Torrey Jones with us, hopefully, from Blazers Uprise. Until then, Suns win, Suns win.